National Guard tells us that General Daniel Hokanson was the person on that plane. He's the chief of the National Guard Bureau and a high-ranking member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. We're told the general was here to meet with business executives about national security and had an event at Chicago State University with the ROTC program. No one was hurt.
Now to the mass shooting at a gay nightclub in Colorado Springs. The suspect is in jail, charged with murder and hate crimes. 5 people died in the attack this weekend. 17 people were injured by gunfire. Police also say 2 people who intervened likely saved people's lives.
We now go to ABC's Morgan Norwood, who's live in Colorado Springs tonight. Morgan, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Rob, Liz giving an update on that shooting just a short time ago. They actually issued some clarity surrounding the Jing situation here, saying that this has not yet formally been charged, but they do expect to hand down those hate crime charges, as you mentioned, along with those murder charges as well. All of this comes as extremists reportedly begin to celebrate this shooting on the dark corners of the web, and as LGBTQ advocates urge and demand that more be done to address the rise in violence.
A growing memorial outside of Club Q, Colorado Springs' only LGBTQ nightclub. It's the place where police say a suspect stormed inside and opened fire, killing 5 and injuring at least 19. Prosecutors charging that suspect with hate crimes and 5 counts of first-degree murder.
We will hold people accountable as we identify what charges should be filed in this case.
The suspect, 22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldrich, allegedly entering Club Q just before midnight, armed with an assault-style rifle, which officials say was legally purchased, along with another gun and multiple magazines of ammunition. Witnesses say he began shooting right away.
I was bartending, making drinks, and then I heard like a pop, pop, pop.
Police say they were on the scene within 3 minutes of the first 911 call, taking Aldrich into custody shortly after. Witnesses say 2 patrons tackled him and beat him with his own weapon. Aldrich being treated at a local hospital.
If this had gone on for several minutes more and that heroic action had not been taken, I can only imagine how many more fatalities we might have had.
Among the 5 confirmed dead was Club Q bartender, 28-year-old Daniel Davis Aston.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying to know that it truly can happen anywhere.
And still questions remain about the suspect's background and how he was able to buy that gun despite a 2021 arrest for a bomb threat and kidnapping. That incident involving his mother allegedly. Colorado does have a red flag law, but it's unclear tonight if that would have stopped the suspect from getting those weapons. Rob, Liz?
All right, Morgan, thank you. The shooting in Colorado is bringing back memories for many people in the 2016 massacre in Orlando, Florida. 49 people died at the Pulse nightclub shooting. The club owner has reached out to leaders in Colorado Springs.
Because I sadly know all too well how they're feeling, what they're facing, and I would just love to be a source for them and just be an ear for them in any way that I could be.
One organization is offering counseling to members of the LGBTQ plus community in response to that Colorado nightclub shooting. Many consider those types of businesses that cater to the community to be safe havens. Reporter Will Jones talked to this weekend's shooting is now undermining the feeling of security.
Security is always a concern at the Central and Halsted on Chicago's north side.
This is a safe place for all, and yet we have to worry every single day because we identify as LGBTQ.
LGBTQ plus community centers, bars, and other establishments in Chicago are on high alert after the deadly shooting at Club Q in Colorado Springs.
It was another punch to the stomach, knocking me off my feet. The bars are supposed to be a safe place where we can gather and connect.
Central and Halsted CEO Modesto Tico Valle says his team is always preparing for worst case scenario.
I have over 80 staff here, and we're always planning for crisis management in the event something awful would happen here at the center. My staff worries, my clients worry.
The suspected Club Q gunman is multiple murder and hate crime charges. Although the motive is unknown, some members of the LGBT plus community say the current political climate is putting their safety at risk.
For me, it is just a reminder how important it is that no community leader or political leader use the LGBTQ plus community as a cheap shot to score their own political points for their own.
The Center on Halsted will have staff members available from 5:30 to 7 tonight for anyone who needs help processing their emotions following the Club Q shooting. Will Jones, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
We'll continue to follow developments out of Colorado as well as local reaction both on air and at ABC7Chicago.com.
It was a somber day in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Today marks 1 year since Darrell Brooks plowed his SUV through the city's holiday parade, killing 6 people and injuring dozens more. Today, the community used this difficult day to continue the healing process.
Waves tonight from Waukesha.
The ceremony just wrapped up. It was an important moment that needed to happen. People who were at the parade tell me as they reflect on what unfolded 1 year ago today. Tonight, hundreds of people coming together to honor the victims in last year's tragedy, when now convicted Darrell Brooks drove his car through the town's annual Christmas parade, killing 6 people and injuring more than 70 others. The youngest victim, just 8 years old. People here in Waukesha have told me the impact of that day stretches beyond those who were physically hurt, leaving mental and emotional scars on hundreds of others as they witnessed the horrific event. This ceremony, 1 year later, a time of healing. The city also handing out blue bracelets and blue light bulbs as the mayor is encouraging people to light their homes and business in blue as they show their support for the victims in last year's tragedy. In Waukesha tonight, Stephanie Wade, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Here much warmer temperatures today than we saw for parts of the weekend. It was cold out there this weekend.
Was, yeah. Even warmer temperatures are on the way. Meteorologist Cheryl Scott joins us with the ABC AccuWeather forecast. Ladies, we'll talk about our big Saturday come up later in the show. So
now that we're thawed out,
yeah,
we can talk about it.
We're thawed out, but we're going to talk about it a little bit later, Cheryl, because this is a nice day today.
It was beautiful. We got the sunshine, and we're looking at those temperatures continuing to climb through the week. Right now, we're in the 30s. It will be a cold night under mostly clear skies. Not a lot of action happening across the country right now. Temperatures currently upper 20s and 30s closer to the front, but tonight we fall off close to 20 degrees out to the west. Along the lakefront, closer to 30, but this isn't too bad considering that's what it actually felt like last week and even colder this weekend. And we are looking up here as we go into the Thanksgiving holiday. So for your travel plans, heading out and about, we're going to give you plenty of sunshine Tuesday and Wednesday. Beautiful. Great travel day on Wednesday. No weather issues, concerns here. On Thursday, mainly dry, but we can't rule out a few light showers later in the evening on Thanksgiving. Still a high of 52. Do we hold on to the mild weather? That is the question. We'll talk about it, show you that 7-day changes on the way coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you guys.
Great. We'll see you soon. SUV crashes into the front of a Walgreens store. This at Ontario and Clark downtown. Police say a Land Rover was traveling south on Clark when it hit that building. Vehicle then reversed and slammed the building once again. You can see it smash through the front revolving doors. The driver was taken into custody. Charges are pending. No one was injured in that crash.
Police are investigating a deadly multi-vehicle crash in the South Loop. This happened at 14th and Michigan last night. Police say a 22-year-old man was killed trying to get away from a traffic stop. One witness working nearby says it happened right as he was leaving work. The street was blocked off when he opened the business this morning.
There's a construction site across the street over on Wabash, and somebody who lives in the building across the street said that he thought maybe like the crane had fallen over or something because it was just that loud.
6 other people were hurt in that crash, including a 13-year-old girl and a 14-year-old boy. All of them are in fair condition tonight.
Traffic is moving again on the Stevenson Expressway after a crash shut down parts of I-55 for several hours today. 2 people were hurt in this 3-car crash. Happened just before 9 this morning at Central Avenue. Maybe you got caught in that traffic. Police speeding car hit another car, then went airborne, flipped several times before hitting a third vehicle head on. All the lanes reopened just after 2 this afternoon.
Police are searching for suspects in a shooting that killed a teenage girl and a man in Chicago's Austin neighborhood. This happened late last night outside a party that had been advertised on social media. Cell phone video shows people dancing before someone opened fire in the 5800 block of West Augusta Boulevard. 15-year-old Ruby Navarte of Cicero and 44-year-old Hawkins Gary were both killed.
In Chicago politics, people coming into the Chicago Elections Office filed nominating to get on the ballot for next year's city elections. The big race, one for mayor. Very Lightfoot squaring off against a large group of challengers. They got a little smaller today. Political reporter Craig Well now has the story.
So we are about to start.
The race for Chicago mayor kicking into high gear on the first day that candidates can turn in their nominating petitions to get on the ballot.
How about this, Chicago?
Candidates flexing their petition power, needing 12,500 valid signatures. They come in with 2 to 3 times that many to ensure that even if those are challenged, there will still be enough good signatures to survive and stay on the ballot.
Our coalition is broad and strong. We're really excited about the 41,000 plus signatures that we are turning in today.
Mayor Lightfoot did not file petitions today, but Alderman Ray Lopez, one of the most vocal critics and the first candidate to officially get into the race, making a surprise decision to drop out.
Is to ensure that Lori Lightfoot is defeated, denied a second term. The odds of getting reelected grow with every candidate that enters this race.
Lopez's decision is expected to benefit the only other Latino in the race, Chuy Garcia, who did not file today, and Paul Vallis, because they both have been vocal supporters of law enforcement.
Well, I believe it's going to help me in part because Ray's been so outspoken on public safety. You know, a lot of people in the city council talk public safety in private, but Ray has been front and center taking on the mayor on public safety issues.
For candidates, petition filing day is a combination of theater and politics.
We need young leaders who are not tainted like the rest of these politicians who have failed us for so long.
It is also a ballot position.
So today what you're seeing is candidates line up to against the lottery to be the first on the ballot.
Everyone in line by 9 a.m. got a ticket to be in that lottery. The final deadline for filing petitions is 5 p.m. next Monday. All candidates who are in line will be to other lottery to be last on the ballot, also traditionally considered advantageous, especially in a crowded field. Craig Wall, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
The man who helped convict serial killer John Wasey died over the weekend. William Kunkel Jr. was found dead in his home on Saturday. The prosecutor managed to prove that Casey wasn't insane. This the jury to convict him on 33 counts of murder. Kunkel went on to other jobs, including his last job as a Cook County where he retired in 2014. William Kunkel Jr. was 81 years old.
One of the busiest travel weeks of the year kicking off today. AAA expects Thanksgiving travel to return to pre-pandemic levels in Illinois and Indiana. And O'Hare and Midway airports expecting to see 1.7 million travelers this week, a more than 6% over Giving Week 2021. O'Hare's $7 billion expansion can move forward. The FAA has signed off on the plan to replace Terminal 2 with a global terminal, and that would link domestic and international flights in one location. As Sarah Schulte takes a look at what this big investment in O'Hare brings to the Chicago area.
Tens of thousands of passengers go through O'Hare Airport every day. And for a regular traveler like Cameron Harold, O'Hare is one of his least favorite airports in the world.
This place needs a huge upgrade, way better restaurants, way better facilities. It's ready.
The city is ready. Today, the FAA cleared the way for the next big phase of modernizing the airport. The plan called demolishing Terminal 2 and replacing it with a state-of-the-art global terminal, doubling the amount of space in the existing terminal.
The terminal area in particular will improve the passenger experience, updated facilities and amenities, reduce air taxiing times and wait times for gates.
The overall airport plan will integrate all of O'Hare's terminals in order to improve international and domestic connections.
Terminal 5, we're in the final months of a $1.3 billion expansion and renovation project that has already opened 7 new gates since this summer, with another 3 gates coming online in the months ahead.
Upgrades to Terminal 5 will be completed next year, but the demolition of this terminal and the construction of a new one will not begin until 2024 and is expected to be completed 7 years later. U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg was in Chicago for today's announcement. Focus was on O'Hare. Buttigieg knows travelers are thinking about this week. He says the system is in much better shape than it was last summer when there were so many cancellations.
When it gets as high as 3 or 4%, which is what we saw in the summer, that is enough to cascade through the system, and it can take days to recover. Right now, we're seeing it closer to between 1% and 2%.
Buttigieg says his department will be watching the holiday travel season closely and making sure airlines do the right thing when it comes to customer service. At O'Hare, Sarah Schulte, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Sarah, a bachelor party imitates the celebration.
Oh, come on, you got to say, duh, coach.
Impressive, Liz. Duh, coach. Despite a Bears loss.
Plus, World Cup excitement hits Chicago soccer fans.
First, the cleanup now underway after a historic snow out east.
Lake effect snow has finally stopped in the Buffalo, New York area. Long wind gusts of 50 miles per hour caused problems this afternoon. People there are still trying to clean up from the historic snowfall from over the weekend. The storm dumped 77 inches of snow in some of the areas this weekend.
That's incredible.
Where do you begin with that?
No historic snow here, but we did have some cold temperatures. For the magnificent Mile Lights Festival parade this weekend here in Chicago, the crowd showed up despite the cold. You watch us on TV, it doesn't matter, but look at that.
There you are,
yeah.
Staying warm. I guess you look warmer than I thought.
I had a gigantic coat on and 3 layers underneath that. And so you and Cheryl Scott were in the front.
There she is, look at her.
And then Judy and I were in the back with her daughters, who are amazing and gorgeous and all grown up.
We were the only tough ones who made it out there. Everybody else bailed on us.
The last time I saw Judy's girls, they were like 10 and 15. I mean, they were so young.
And now they're 5'10".
One's in college, right? They're 5'10". But it was so much fun.
It was fun.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you and Cheryl. You held down the front of the float.
We were on the float together.
Cheryl got the music working. Cheryl got the music. Although by the end, Cheryl and I were saying, was your face frozen too? Like you felt like your smile was sort of frozen in place.
Stuck. And my arm was nice and strong, kept me warm because I worked on my wave. I thought I pulled it off pretty well.
You did great.
Thank you. And everybody was really excited to see you too. And it's hard to tell at first because it's so cold.
Right.
I think that's Liz Nagy.
No, I know.
And there's Cheryl Scott.
Well, Cheryl was unmistakable in her Minnie Mouse ears.
Yes, but you look great. That's and people were really excited to see us.
Yes.
They were. So well done, ladies. Next time we should move around on the floor.
Right. Yeah,
I feel bad.
It's warm and done a little dojo or something.
I literally didn't. And then at night we all got home where we were warm. We're like, hey, I didn't really talk to you. It was awesome. But it was fun, Cheryl, and you did get the music going, and that was a big thing.
And Judy's daughters got it up and running. Yes.
We got some Christmas carols going for everybody. Yeah. I think it went great.
Yeah, I do too.
It was great. It was just so nice to see Chicago
out
in that weather and support, so that was amazing.
A lot of kids. They're hardy.
A lot of kids. They had, and the little all bundled up. So
and because of that, because it was so cold that night, I stepped outside this morning, Cheryl, and I was like, nothing, no problem.
Nothing.
Here we are.
Great.
Fire.
If we get a day like this next year, that'd be awesome. But it sure felt like the holidays.
It really did. And we even had some snow flying around that day. It was festive yet frigid. Here at home, we're finally getting those temperatures back to near average. Today was a beautiful day in the 40s. 40s feel nice right now, sitting at 38 degrees. Satellite and radar combined here across the country. We are pretty quiet. Mostly clear skies will allow for a cold night. So we still have this unseasonably cool air mass across the upper Midwest. And the Great Lakes will continue to be in place tonight, but once we get into the day tomorrow and Wednesday, we really start to see those temperatures go up and even above average days expected this week and for the Thanksgiving holiday. So temps outside right now, 20s and 30s. Overnight, we fall off into the teens and 20s. closer to the lake downtown Chicago. 30 degrees tomorrow morning. That is not bad, and that is near average. And the average high is 46 degrees now. Today, 47, right on point. Last year, we were at 55. Tonight, like I just said, it will be a cold night, but we're used to it by now after last week. And tomorrow we get the sunshine back in place. Beautiful day in store here. Temperatures back into the mid 40s, so a seasonal day. But then we do start to warm up here as we go into our Wednesday and Thursday with those high temperatures returning back into the 50s. Tomorrow, a lot of golden sunshine by Wednesday here. Beautiful day. Travel plans out and about, hitting the roads or skies, looking good. And that continues into Thursday. Now for Thursday night, Thanksgiving evening, we could find a few sprinkles or light showers around, but much of the day is going to be dry. Like I said, it is pretty quiet. There is a disturbance bringing some rain down towards the Gulf Coast there, Texas into Louisiana, a storm system developing out towards the Pacific Northwest, but much of the country right now taking a little bit of a break from some crazy active weather, especially after the lake effect snow for parts of western New York. Buffalo Orchard Park picking up 80 inches of snow. That's like close to our record all high for snow in a season for us. Like truly remarkable. Here at home, we do not have falling snow in our forecast. Tomorrow we'll have that sunshine temperature above the freezing mark by Wednesday. We're looking at those highs in the 50s, continuing that trend for Thanksgiving. We start off with the sunshine, clouds increase, a few passing showers later in the day, the afternoon and evening, but just passing on by. Sprinkles really here. And then by Friday, we see our temperatures drop back into the 40s, but we're dropping back to near average. So we will take it. Taking a look at what's on our plate for Thanksgiving in terms of this forecast, we're looking good, pretty quiet here. Temps in the 40s and making it into the 50s for the afternoon. Tonight, though, it's going to be cold out there. Temperatures dropping into the 20s. Tomorrow, highs in the 40s and 50s, mostly sunny. A seasonal, beautiful day. We'll take these temperatures a few degrees as we head into our Wednesday and Thursday. A few light showers on Thursday. That front moves, and then we'll see our temperatures drop back down to near by Friday. Partly cloudy, a dry start to our weekend. Rain is very late on Saturday into early Sunday. Saturday looking like the better of the two. Come Monday, a little bit cooler with those temps down into the low 40s. But this week looking a whole lot better than last week, and no measurable snow here either. So I know a lot of people have the holiday plans, visiting friends and family, getting ready for Thanksgiving. And the good news, not only quiet here, a large part of the country is quiet as well. So take the skies looking pretty good in most locations.
Yeah, that's very good news. Travel's enough of a mess for the holidays as it is. So
What'd she say? I got my coffee brewed in the time you did weather. That was awesome.
It was a sprint to make it back.
So, Rob, what's the forecast?
Hold on. Warmer and sunny. 50s. Can you move a little bit? Can we take this?
Pop quiz.
Job done.
No, I know it's going to be warmer, which we need.
We need, yeah.
Yeah, and I heard you say, because I said, oh my gosh, that they got more snow over the last week in New York than we get all year.
Yes.
Which is insane.
They can have it. They can have
right?
it, so.
Insane.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Of course.
We're going 3. Did she go 3 minutes, Lee? Yes. Enough to brew the slowest coffee brewer in the city.
Team USA is playing its first game of the World Cup today, tying with Wales.
Yeah, American soccer fans, happy them. A win would have been huge. It's been 8 years since the men's team played in the World Cup. They didn't play in the 2018 tournament in Russia. And we watched with some fans at the Fire Pitch, the restaurant which is the Chicago Fire's practice facility.
Because keep playing like this, they have a chance of making it part of the group stages.
Vamos Mexico for me. I really want them to be successful too, but it's always exciting to see such a young team doing so well.
So tie. Team USA takes on England on Friday. The Fire has reserved the ballroom at Navy Pier for fans to watch. That's the big matchup Friday against England. You were making a great point about Poland, Mexico.
Right. Poland and Mexico play 10 a.m. our time, I think. And two of Chicago's biggest immigrant communities so, going up against each other head to head. And it's huge soccer fans, too.
Huge soccer fans. There are like 100,000 of Mexico and Polish fans that are going to get to square.
Yeah, battle of the Northwest and Southwest side, I think, is what this is going to be. But we're still in, I think this is called group round. So
yes,
it just, only the number of goals matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, England's going to probably win advance, but they need to win.
England famously chokes in the quarterfinals or something.
Like you're thinking.
Also, this is the best U.S. men's team I think they've ever had.
And young. Got to do it. So you're a soccer fan.
I kind of am. It's the most athletic sport, I think.
They're good.
We'll fight over that
incredible athletes.
Well, this bachelor party decided to bear down. Jake Mazanke and his buddies went to the weekend Bears game in Atlanta all dressed as Micah. This went viral. Mazanke, who lives in Lincoln Park, tells us he and his fiance are lifelong Bears fans. Did you see this yesterday?
I saw them on TV.
Right.
Was watching the game. There were Bears fans, as there always are, no matter where they play. But
Really?
I was like, those dudes are all dressed as
That's
Ditka.
hilarious. Yeah, well, I was all over Twitter yesterday.
So
social media.
Tough game to watch, but a fun place to go in
I think they
Atlanta.
were probably having their own good time.
I would guess so, despite the loss. More people are seeing Twitter accounts reactivate. But there's one person Elon Musk says he will not allow back on to tweet. That story's ahead.
Plus, the big job ahead for future hires at TikTok.
Reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley learned their sentences today in a tax evasion case. A federal judge sentencing Todd Chrisley to 12 years in prison plus 16 months probation. Julie was sentenced to 7 years in prison plus 16 months probation. Prosecutors say the two engaged in an extensive bank fraud scheme and then hid their wealth from authorities while flaunting their lavish lifestyle on their show, Chrisley Knows Best.
Tonight, some big retailers are calling on Congress to act immediately to help avert a freight railroad strike. The Retail Industry Leaders Association includes Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Best Buy, and dozens of other big box stores. The group is warning that a freight rail strike would devastate the flow of goods nationwide and worsen inflation. It's calling on Congress to act if a rail labor agreement is not reached by December 9th.
Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, is tweeting again. Elon Musk welcoming Ye back to Twitter over the weekend. He'd been sidelined for 2 weeks after going on an anti-Semitic rant. Musk says Ye's hiatus was not his call. Former President Donald Trump also allowed back on Twitter after Elon Musk posted a poll week asking their thoughts. Trump's account was deactivated, remember, after the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Trump has yet to post on the site since his reactivation. But Musk says conspiracy theorist Alex Jones will not be allowed back on Twitter. Some users have asked for Jones's account to be reinstated. Musk says he has no mercy for anyone who would use the deaths of children for gain, politics, or fame. Earlier this year, Jones was ordered to pay hundreds of millions in damages for lies about the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting.
As many social media companies announce layoffs, at least one is still hiring. TikTok says it's committed to its goal of hiring nearly 1,000 engineers at its office in Mountain View, California. That team is supposed to help ensure U.S. user data is secure. The popular app has faced criticism over how it handles data.
The Cook County planning to install electric vehicle charging stations in underserved communities. The County Board President Tony Preckwinkle announced $5.5 million in funding to bring up to 75 stations throughout suburban Cook County, especially in communities in the south and west side. Counties asked for public input on the best locations to these EV stations.
That's good news.
I think it is, and I think that will help. You need those stations.
Right.
We need prices to come down on electric vehicles too.
But no more stations like do that. Right. Well, NASA returns to the moon.
I had a major test today for NASA's Artemis mission. It's going well.
Plus, twins are born from embryos that were frozen decades ago.
The end of the year is typically when we see many charities asking for your donation.
While there are many great causes, there are also some scammers out there trying to take advantage of your willingness to help others. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles has quick tips on how to avoid charity donation scams.
Hi everybody, here's a quick charity tip. It is the giving season, however there are some tips to know so you can avoid falling victim while donating. You can avoid charity donation scams with these tips from Be Generous, a platform which helps people donate to nonprofits. First, do your research. Before donating, make sure to confirm that the charity you are donating to is listed in the IRS database. Additional information can also be found on websites such as Charity Navigator and the BBB's give.org. Vet the charity. Check the charity's website. Confirm that they have posted their 990, which is an annual financial disclosure form, providing additional information about how the funds are being used. Research charity leaders. Do some research on the executive director of the organization and ensure that they are a real person. Check LinkedIn to ensure that they are actively promoting their fundraising campaign and check for previous employment history. Jason Knowles, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Jason, thank you. It may seem like a long way away, but if you start thinking about the 2023 Illinois State Fair now, you can save some money. Now through December 31st, mega passes will cost just $60. Jumbo passes are also discounted at $70. The cost of both passes will go up in January, and then there's an increase even more in August. You can buy the passes on the Illinois State Fair website by mail or by phone. More information can be found on our website, abc7chicago.com.
If you're looking for a new streaming service or a good gift idea, check out Hulu's Black Friday deal. You can subscribe to the ad-supported version for just under $2 a month for the first year. Disney is the parent company of both Hulu and ABC7. You can find more Black Friday bargains on our website and our news app. Have you started your holiday shopping?
No.
No.
I wanted to be, yes, no. I'm so bad. We talked about this last year. We're both bad at this.
I've gotten better.
You're starting on Friday?
No, I already started. I found Etsy, which I know I'm like,
Right.
I'm ancient. That's been around. It's
Etsy's
awesome.
great. It is.
I bought a bunch of stuff.
Good for you.
Yeah, so I started that. And I'll start this weekend.
I have to figure out who I'm going to buy for starters.
John for one.
Right.
You make sure
That's
you
it.
get him. Okay. This story is incredible. We were just talking about it in the break, trying to explain it, so we're going to do this now. A couple from Oregon still celebrating the birth of twins that were born on Halloween this year. But these aren't just any twins.
Baby Lydia and Timothy Ridgway are believed to be the longest frozen embryos ever to result in a live birth. The previous record was an embryo frozen 47 years. The Ridgway twins embryos were frozen 30 years ago by an anonymous married couple. That was back in 1992.
It was hard to wrap your mind around that. I was 5 years old when God gave life to Lydia and Timothy. In a very real sense, they're our oldest children, even though they're our smallest children.
No.
The couple who initially froze the embryo ended up donating it in 2007 to a national embryo donation center. Today, the twins are doing just fine and healthy. Overall, about 40% of frozen embryos result in a live birth. So that's pretty incredible.
Yes,
40% and then those are 30 years old.
Rare, I mean, not rare, but it's harder to do that. And you get these that were frozen in the 90s.
1990, and then imagine how different the technology was back then, and all the research that's been done since then.
It's a great story. Yeah. This is a capsule reaches the moon. The crew capsule, 3 test dummies passed within about 8 miles. On the far side of the moon, there was a communication lag time. Flight controllers in Houston didn't know if everything went well until the capsule emerged on the other side. This is the first time a capsule has visited the moon since the Apollo program 50 years ago. First American capsule. The Chinese are aggressively pursuing this too, but this is extraordinary. Not in my lifetime have we been back on the moon. I'm 48 years old.
Right, in the darks, I mean, they couldn't even communicate until they were on the moon. No, that's very...
It's going well. Right. It's the first step toward getting men and women back on the moon. It's awesome.
I mean, soon we'll be taking commercial flights.
Right, seriously.
Nothing whatsoever.
One of your stories. We're in the moon. She'll be back tomorrow.
Listen, don't give our assignment desk any ideas. Nourishing hope ahead, how a food pantry is helping families as Thanksgiving approaches this week.
Plus, President Biden continues a White House tradition, giving 2 turkeys a pardon. Chocolate and chip.
They are chocolate and chip.
That's their
I think
names.
Obama had peanut butter and jelly one year.
We got a theme going. Let's check in with Cheryl first.
And more sunshine on the way for tomorrow. Beautiful weather. We warm up into the Thanksgiving Day holiday, but we're also tracking the threat of a few showers. We'll time those out for your travel plans.
Well, inflation has sent prices soaring, and as Thanksgiving approaches, more people turning to food pantries for help.
Many are struggling to make ends meet. Leah Hope is speaking to food pantries about what they're seeing right now.
The wait promises to be worth it for those standing outside Nourishing Hope today on North Sheridan.
We try to come only as when we really do need it, because we do know that there's other people who need it more than we do sometimes, so we try not to come unless we absolutely need it.
Today, they say they need it. Angela Lopez says when her mom was injured on a new job, then fired, the family of 5 went from 2 incomes to 1.
We're sometimes a little too proud to go and ask for that extra hand, but it's there. We just have to look for it and take the first step of actually going.
Cost for food is up for everyone, including the food pantry. So they are trying to make substitutions to keep the increased demand for help. The nonprofit welcomes volunteers and donations.
About 7 folks just this year who have had to turn to a food pantry for the first time, largely because they're needing to make really tough choices, right? Am I going to be able to pay rent this month or put food on my table?
Nourishing Hope will have hours today and tomorrow at this location here in Lakeview, as well as its Humboldt Park location, where clients can come in and choose the items that are best for them and their families. This is Ashley Harris's first time here. Now caring for her mom, Harris says she hasn't been able to work as many hours.
The price of chicken, the price of beef, out of control right now.
we can't afford that.
Harris says she had seen people eating with food and wanted to see the pantry for herself. Here, she was given choices at every step. Harris says this was a new experience and one she's glad she tried so that her and her mom can be a bit more comfortable this holiday.
I'm just grateful that we are together, we're above ground, and we do have food on the table thanks to Nourishing Hope.
In the Lakeview neighborhood, Leah Hope, ABC7 Eyewitness.
Well, for food pantries this time of year.
She shared her story too. It helps out a lot of people. Just that you can go and get and feed.
Yeah, and somebody's inspired when they're at the grocery store. Just take a few more things to drop off.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, 2 turkeys are being spared from the Thanksgiving dinner table.
President Biden pardoned them today. I'm sorry, this story every year gets me. This year's turkeys are named Chocolate and Chip. The National Turkey Federation raised them and took the birds on a D.C. adventure. The group has been supplying turkeys to the White House since 1947. The annual turkey pardon is a bit newer. President John F. Kennedy first pardoned a turkey in 1963. It became an annual tradition until George H.W. Bush revived it in 1989. I mean, they're staying in hotels that we don't get to stay in.
The turkeys?
Yes. Oh, yeah. They were in like a 5-star hotel over there by the White House.
That's good taxpayer dollars.
Right. I mean, some people say that. They're like, why are we? And the president talked to them. They cackled.
I saw he stuck them.
I don't know what that sound they make.
Gobble.
Yeah.
You don't know what sound a turkey
Well, but
makes?
So you hear you hear the gobble, 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 but it's not like that. It's more of a guttural.
You're trying to goad me into doing
right.
this on television.
Let me hear yours.
I'm not gonna
You're not going to do
it.
Because I just had this discussion years ago and we recorded it, and this is obviously
no, I'm definitely
hard hitting. You're not doing it. It was. I'll do it for you. It was more about. That's pretty good.
Somebody record on that.
Pretty good. Hey, there's somebody in the studio back there giving me a hand. I don't know who it is.
I'm impressed. You're braver than I am.
Right.
Another big holiday event at the White House today. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden received the official 2022 White House Christmas tree this afternoon with some help from her grandson Beau. This year's White House tree stands more than 18 feet tall. It's from Pennsylvania. It will go in the Blue Room at the White House, where a chandelier needs to be removed in order to make room for how tall this tree is.
Oh, I love it. The kid Beau is so cute.
Oh, he's adorable. Here I went and saw. Remember, I talked with Dr. Joe Biden in the White House. The Christmas decoration.
I forgot about
all
that.
of that in person. It's incredible.
That was like a last-minute trip, right? And you went over there with our crew.
We were invited, yeah, to see the decorations in the White House, and it's unbelievable. Each room, they choose a different theme, so it's always fun to see what the theme is.
Did you see little Beau? Was he there?
No, there was nobody. It was just Biden last year, because part of the reason they did it was because the White House was not yet open to tourists again because of COVID.
Pandemic.
So they wanted us to go back to our respective markets and sort of share the decorations with people across the country. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, it was neat.
But yeah, beautiful. And Elton John says farewell to his North American tour with throwbacks to his early career.
Plus, Ryan Reynolds has a Deadpool script that hasn't been made, and the plot may not be what you'd expect. Are we talking turkey again? I don't know.
What? His farewell yellow plate where he took off 47 years after playing Dodger Stadium. Elton John retired, this time wearing a sequin robe instead of a Dodgers uniform. You can see Dua Lipa here, one of several special guests during last night's show. Elton John wants to spend more time with family, he says, and this North America tour will be his last. I got to see him. I was here in Chicago.
You did?
It was awesome. I've seen him twice now in concert and never disappoints.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he moves a little slower these days. He can get up from the piano and do the donkey kicks or whatever he used to do, but that's okay.
I mean, he's going to keep doing stuff. He can't be done.
How many times Rolling Stones on a farewell tour?
Right. Maybe he won't tour, but he'll hold selective concerts. I think your song is maybe my all-time favorite slow song.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Cheryl would sing it with me because now I feel like I have to sing and you just laugh at me because she loves to sing.
Oh, does she?
Yeah,
well,
it's a little bit funny.
That's a nice bond you guys
This
have.
feeling inside.
I'm not brave enough
It's
to
bad.
do that.
Yeah, it's bad. My voice.
Do you
Letters.
have a little like car concert and?
Oh, like the karaoke thing?
No, when you're
Oh.
driving home, turn up the
I
radio.
do. Singing is good therapy.
It is.
Yes, it is. It helps release the stress. Not on this show, and I apologize to you. Love letters written by Bob Dylan just sold at auction for nearly $670,000. These letters were to his high school girlfriend, Barbara Ann Hewitt, who held on to them until she died. Dylan, who hadn't changed his last name from Zimmerman yet, wrote about his feelings for her and his dreams of stardom. And in more Bob Dylan news about this, his publisher offered funds for a $600 special edition of this new book that came out earlier this month.
Apparently, the hand-signed copies were not individually inscribed. People realized that they posted pictures to social media, and the autographs all looked similar.
That's a bad mistake.
Yeah. What was it, stamp or something?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yours looks just like mine, and they all look the same.
I guess if you're hand signing them, there's a little bit of variation.
It would have to be if you're signing. How many did he probably sell?
Get
your money back.
Bob Dylan, I'm guessing a lot.
Right. Hopefully you get a real signed book from him too. Yeah.
Brandy is returning to the role of Cinderella. She first made history in 1997 when she became the first black actress to princess on screen. Now Disney Plus has announced she'll return to the role in the new installment of the Descendants franchise, which will be called The Pocket Watch. Disney is the parent company of ABC7. I remember in 1997.
Yeah.
News that year was that Kobe Bryant took her to the prom.
Wow.
Yep.
That was stellar.
Yeah.
It was
Whitney
really
Houston?
Yeah.
I forget. Whitney Houston was in it too. She was the fairy godmother.
And Whoopi Goldberg was in it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Whoopi
guess she was.
Goldberg. I know Michelle probably loved it too. She's
I did.
a big Christmas fan. Monica did. I don't know if you watched it. Yep. And then who was the? We have to look it up.
Yeah, we'll have to. That's as far as my memory goes. But yeah, no, it was.
Jason
Oh,
Alexander,
that's right.
Yeah, he kind of played that. Well, I don't know, what was he? A jester, technically?
Was he one?
He was the king. No, he was.
Maybe he was like Gus, maybe the mouse. Like, but it was.
Emissary to the Prince.
Assistant. Okay.
Thank you, Lee. We can always count on you. He's our guy when it comes to all that stuff. Deadpool Christmas Edition. Ryan Reynolds says he's written a screenplay for a Christmas-centric Deadpool movie, but he says it got lost in the shuffle when Disney, parent company ABC, acquired 21st Century Fox. Reynolds told the story in a new interview after he was asked about whether he'd star in another Christmas movie following the release of Spirited. That's with Will Ferrell, Octavia Spencer. He says he hopes to make the film one day.
Okay, so here's what I think is going on here. I think he wanted to enter the argument of is Die Hard a Christmas movie. He wanted to be discussed about whether his action movie was in fact a Christmas movie.
And the huge Jackman's coming back out, Wolverine and the new one coming out, which obviously is not going to be this Christmas-themed one.
So is he ever going to make it? We don't know.
Yeah, I think they're going to, but I just don't know when. And that Spirited looks pretty good. I haven't seen it yet with Will Ferrell and him. You know? Like a
Christmas movie?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Scrooge take. Debbie Gibson, did you see her when we were at the parade?
No.
I think she was way ahead of us.
Okay,
They had
no,
us, like,
no,
in the
no,
back.
I was
She is about to kick off her Winterlicious tour.
We got a sneak peek over the weekend. Into the Mile Lights Festival parade and maybe getting ready for the show helped inspire her release to her first ever Christmas album, which she came out with earlier this year. Gibson's tour kicks off on Friday, but does not include a stop in Chicago. I guess that was her stop in Chicago.
Yeah, she was ahead of us. Maybe Cheryl saw her. Do you remember? Oh, I guess you're probably too young when she was only in my dream.
I'm getting a full
better than mine. But did you see that flow? I think we were, what, like 12?
11, yeah.
Yeah, we were 11. So Debbie Gibson was, I think she was ahead of us, but she might have been behind us. I don't remember because I didn't see that flow. We were just trying to
It was pretty cold, so no.
We didn't even talk. We were so
Right.
cold.
This is true. Yeah, I mean, the conversation was a minimum on the float. It really was.
We're friends, I swear.
Right. You good? You good?
Right,
We like each other.
Why aren't they interacting with each other? It was a lot of fun, though. We had a good time. It went well. Yeah, and now it's warmer.
Thank God.
Hey, you have a live camera bug. Is that new?
No.
It's been a while.
You're too busy making coffee.
I am. I was doing so well, too. You're just leaving me out.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
Okay, go.
All right, here we go. I want to
Sorry.
report after this. All right, it's cold out there, but not as cold as last week, so we're doing okay across the country. It's pretty quiet, which is great news because I think probably Thanksgiving okay, a little bit better than last week. We still do have this very cold air mass here across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. You can see International Falls right now, 14 degrees. At 38, we're doing okay, and these temperatures will actually start to climb in the coming days. So outside currently, we have 20s and 30s, a little bit milder as we take a look at those temps closer to the lakefront. Our high today coming in at 47. The average is 46. We're overachieving by a degree. We will take it. Last year 55, but after last weekend, this weekend, we had wind chills close to 0. Saturday night, it was so frigid. Tonight, we'll have low temperatures into about the low to mid 20s across the area. And then tomorrow, more of the same, very similar to today. We get you that sunshine in place and then those temps climbing back into the 40s with mostly sunny skies. And we continue with that sunshine on Wednesday. Very important travel day for a lot of you. If you're traveling on Thursday, also looking at a few hours in the mix, but nothing that's really going to get in the way. That scattered light rain will be occurring later in the day. Temperatures here in the 50s, just waste that sunshine. So again, a look across the country where we are quiet, and thankfully, especially for the Great Lakes and parts of Western New York, which got hit so hard from that lake effect over the past couple of days. I mean, Orchard Park, New York picked up 80 inches of snow, 6.5 feet in just a few days. That is remarkable in terms of weather stats. So just an impressive lake effect snow setup there. Right now, lake effect, it's shutting off. You can see a little disturbance to the south, much of the country looking quiet. Great news going into the Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow. More of the same. We get you that sunshine. It's going to be dry. Winds out of the south, a little bit breezy. Continue with that trend on Wednesday. Partly to mostly sunny skies and highs in the 50s. Into Thursday, Thanksgiving, we start off with some sunshine, clouds on the increase, and then a few sprinkles developing later in the day. Really nothing that's going to impact you traveling. Perhaps if you have some outdoor plans, playing some football later in the day, you could find a few raindrops, but it's going to be hit or miss and scattered as of right now. Not really going to do things too much. So for that Thanksgiving Day holiday forecast, we have those temperatures in the 40s. Some showers potentially during the afternoon and evening, pretty scattered though. In terms of tonight, it's about the cold air. Temps falling off into the 20s by now. Tomorrow, 40s and 50s are turning to the region. We're up in the 50s above average Wednesday and Thursday. Back down into the 40s for late week. Into the start of the weekend, we're dry. We do have some sunshine early on with rain chances increasing late Saturday and into early Sunday. So Saturday looking like the better day of the two, but this week looking a whole lot better than last week, in my opinion.
Oh, we would agree with you there.
Yes.
Thank you. A special center in Downers Grove asking people to help as we approach the holidays.
The Community Adult Day Center needs donations to continue offering services and care. Our Jordan shows us what that center is all about.
For these seniors, various stages of dementia and cognitive disabilities, interacting with this so-called magic table, a unique way to stimulate their minds. It's a special feature at the Community Adult Day Center, housed in Gloria Day Lutheran Church in Downers Grove. For 6 years, it's been a place where older adults can go during weekdays to socialize and engage in physical activities with the hopes of slowing down the progress of dementia.
This isn't just a place for the person who is affected by this illness. It's a place for the caregiver because the caregiver needs some respite.
Caregivers like Kathy Muller, whose husband Ron has been coming here for more than a year.
When he was watching television day in and day out, I knew that he needed some kind of brain stimulation.
The 78-year-old comes to the center 4 days a week.
By the time Thursday and Friday rolls around, he is definitely more cognitively aware aware of what is going on.
Some members have been coming to the center for years before for advanced medical and cognitive care.
We find our members have a better outcome when they start early in their dementia journey.
The center survived the pandemic and is only one of a few adult day centers in the western suburbs.
Alzheimer's and other dementia illnesses are just on the rise, and they're just going to keep going and going. So we have to start investing in facilities like this.
Community Adult Day Center is hoping to grow and hire more staff members, but the not-for-profit relies on donations to keep operating. That's why they're appealing to the community to take part in Giving Tuesday next week and make an investment in the center. In Downers Grove, Karen Jordan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Turning a whole home into a gingerbread house. The festive display getting a lot of attention next.
Take a look. It's a life-size gingerbread house. A prop maker in England decided to turn her own home into a full-on gingerbread house for the holidays. She used fabric, pieces of wood, milk cartons, and more to transform the home. She says 70% of the materials were recycled from other objects, and the items she bought she plans to reuse. It's all on using heavy-duty Velcro.
Looks delicious.
Impressive, but that's a lot of work.
We want to end with something new we learned about you. So you were in Cinderella.
In that year, and Brandy came out.
And what part did you play?
The wicked stepmother.
That's awesome. So this was high school?
No, school.
Middle
school. Eighth grade.
I had no idea. See, you've learned things on this show.
Sure
it was great to have you on.
All right, well, thanks for letting me be here.
Be nice to me.